When you picture Iran, what comes to mind? Perhaps vast deserts, ancient Persian empires, or the powerful, deeply rooted traditions of Shiite Islam. It's a nation often defined by its religious principles, where strict enforcement of Islamic laws has long been the norm. But what if I told you that beneath this well-known surface, a profound and utterly unexpected transformation is quietly yet powerfully unfolding? Imagine a religious shift so significant it's not only reshaping the country's spiritual landscape, but also gently, persistently challenging the very bedrock of its theocratic system. What if the faith you least expect is blossoming in the most surprising of places, drawing thousands, even millions, seeking a different path? This isn't just about statistics or abstract theological debates. It's about real people, real struggles, and a deep longing for something more. For decades, Iran's Islamic Republic has maintained tight control over religious expression, often with harsh consequences for dissenters. We've all heard about the infamous morality police and their rigid enforcement of Islamic codes, which sadly at times have led to tragic incidents garnering international condemnation. These measures reflect an unwavering determination to maintain religious conformity. Yet, despite such concerted efforts, undeniable signs of deep dissatisfaction and a yearning for change are emerging. This dramatic undercurrent is what we'll explore today. The quiet yet powerful surge in conversions from Islam to Christianity that's taking place in Iran, a phenomenon some are calling the Jesus Revolution. The sheer scale of this transformation is astonishing. Consider this. A staggering 50,000 of Iran's 75,000 mosques have reportedly closed their doors due to dwindling attendance. Senior Iranian cleric Mohammed Abu Qasim himself attributed this to a significant decline in patronage, signaling a widespread crisis of faith among Iranians. This alarming trend aligns with compelling reports indicating that approximately 1 million Muslims in Iran have embraced Christianity, suggesting an undercurrent of religious change that's steadily gaining momentum. The term Jesus Revolution isn't just a catchy phrase. It describes a profound cultural and spiritual shift, corroborated by a joint study from CBN and the International Radio Ministry, The Tide. This isn't a statistical anomaly. It represents a deep personal reevaluation of faith, particularly among those over 65 who have witnessed decades of unfulfilled promises and hardships. So, what's driving this monumental shift? The reasons are deeply intertwined with Iran's protracted political, social, and economic struggles. For many Iranians, particularly those weary of the current regime, Christianity offers a stark and refreshing contrast to the authoritarian and often punitive nature of the Islamic government. It provides a message of hope, love, forgiveness, and a personal, direct connection to God, principles that resonate deeply with souls disillusioned by decades of oppression and rigid control. Todd Nettleton, a Voice of the Martyrs, highlights a grim reality. Iran grapples with some of the highest drug addiction rates globally, pervasive corruption, and a populace where over half live in poverty. For an increasing number of Iranians, these systemic failures have undeniably tarnished the appeal of Islam as it is practiced and enforced in the country. Economic hardship has been an especially potent catalyst for dissatisfaction. Iran's economy has suffered immensely under a crushing weight of international sanctions, coupled with pervasive mismanagement and rampant corruption. The resulting widespread poverty has left countless Iranians questioning the very promises of the Islamic theocracy, which once pledged justice and dignity. A survey conducted by the Netherlands-based Gaman Institute shockingly revealed that 80% of Iranians desire a democratic government, explicitly rejecting the Islamic Republic in its current form. This profound disillusionment with political Islam has cultivated fertile ground for exploring alternative spiritual paths. In this context, Christianity is perceived not merely as another religion, but as a pathway to liberation, both spiritually and socially. The promise of democracy and human rights, often associated with Christian majority nations, deeply appeals to those yearning for freedom and equality. This burgeoning interest in Christianity aligns perfectly with broader calls for comprehensive reform, suggesting that religion itself is becoming a pivotal focal point for resistance against the ruling regime. Unsurprisingly, the Islamic leadership in Iran has responded to the rise of Christianity with unyielding harshness. Conversion from Islam is strictly forbidden, and individuals deemed apostates often face severe repercussions, including imprisonment, torture, and even the ultimate penalty of death. The government's relentless attempts to suppress Christianity are an integral part of their broader strategy to maintain absolute control over the populace. Yet, despite these brutal efforts, underground churches and digital platforms have become vital hubs for Christian worship and education, enabling the movement to flourish even amidst perilous risks. Todd Nettleton emphasizes that this growth isn't solely about dissatisfaction with Islam, it's profoundly about the unique, compelling appeal of Christianity itself. Converts frequently cite the religion's emphasis on compassion, unconditional love, and radical forgiveness as key factors in their transformative decision. For many, the very idea of a personal, intimate relationship with God offers a profound sense of hope and personal agency conspicuously absent in their prior religious experiences. In a world where countless individuals feel utterly let down by those in power and crushed under the immense weight of systemic injustice, the teachings of Jesus stand out as an unparalleled message of hope and profound compassion. The timeless words from Matthew 11:28-30. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. Have a remarkable way of speaking directly to the hearts of those who are struggling. These words are not just comforting, they are a bold, revolutionary promise of peace and profound relief for people worn down by years of relentless hardship. For many Iranians, these verses offer precisely what they've been desperately searching for: a true sense of freedom and solace in a system that appears to have utterly abandoned them. In Iran, where pervasive oppression and relentless hardship have tragically become part of daily life, Christianity is evolving into far more than just a religion. For countless individuals, it's a powerful symbol of personal freedom and an unwavering act of defiance against a regime that inextricably binds religion and politics. For those who feel utterly trapped by the empty promises of the Islamic theocracy, turning to Jesus is akin to finding a way to breathe again. This isn't merely about spiritual belief. It's a deeply personal, courageous act of rebellion. Iran's government has meticulously built its power on stringent interpretations of Islam, and converting to Christianity fundamentally challenges that very foundation. Choosing Christianity in Iran isn't just about faith, it's a profound statement. I reject the system that has failed me for decades. The Iranian people have faced a relentless host of challenges: widespread poverty, pervasive government corruption, and tragically, one of the highest rates of drug addiction in the entire world. For many, these harsh realities have utterly shattered their faith in a system that solemnly promised them justice and dignity through Islam. In stark contrast, Christianity offers something radically different. Its message of love, forgiveness, and hope feels like a potent antidote to the harshness and despair of daily life. The radical idea of a personal relationship with God, one built on boundless compassion rather than rigid control, has drawn thousands to explore a faith that feels far more human, accessible, and liberating. Of course, this powerful movement hasn't gone unnoticed by the authorities. The Iranian government views the burgeoning growth of Christianity as a severe threat, not just to their religious authority, but to their entire political system. The regime's response has been an unwavering crackdown. Underground churches are ruthlessly raided, Christian converts are systematically arrested, and public expressions of faith are meticulously monitored. The government's underlying fear is crystal clear. If people find genuine hope and profound meaning outside of the state's rigidly controlled version of Islam, it fundamentally undermines their absolute control. But even with these dire risks, the movement continues to expand. Many converts rely on ingenious digital platforms and secret gatherings to practice their faith and support one another. It's a quiet but deeply determined revolution, and the government's strenuous efforts to suppress it have only served to highlight the extraordinary resilience of those involved. Across Iran, new Christian converts quietly, cautiously share the profound, life-altering changes in their lives with trusted friends and loved ones, navigating the dangerous reality of their newfound faith with immense care and strategic caution. Safe spaces for spiritual seekers, such as hidden house churches and discreet Bible study groups, offer a fleeting but vital refuge, yet remain under constant, terrifying threat. These small gatherings, often consisting of no more than 10 to 15 devoted believers, take place in unassuming locations, modest apartments or inconspicuous homes. As the final attendee quietly arrives and the door securely locks, a wave of profound relief sweeps over the group, and they warmly embrace the fragile safety of their community, however fleeting it might be. This fragile sense of peace is all too often brutally shattered when authorities raid these gatherings with the chilling precision of a military operation. Leaders, perceived as the crucial linchpins of these underground networks, are singled out for exceptionally severe punishment. Taken without warning, they face brutal detention in facilities explicitly designed to break their spirit through prolonged solitary confinement, unimaginable torture, and relentless psychological pressure. The government's intent is disturbingly clear: forcibly compel these steadfast believers to renounce their precious faith and return to Islam. Detainees endure harsh, inhumane conditions, completely cut off from family, legal aid, and any semblance of fairness as they face vague, draconian charges like acting against national security. Even after miraculously completing their sentences, the nightmare tragically continues. The government maintains strict surveillance, monitoring every movement and communication of those it considers a persistent threat. Yet despite these soul-crushing risks, more Iranians are powerfully drawn to the liberating teachings of Jesus, finding in them a radiant message of hope and profound liberation amidst the pervasive injustice, corruption, and oppression that tragically defines their daily lives. The regime's fear-driven tactics aim desperately to suppress this rapidly growing spiritual movement, but the numbers tell a powerfully different story. Christianity is quietly, yet undeniably, gaining substantial ground. This profound shift eerily aligns with Jesus' poignant words in Matthew 10:22. "You will be hated by everyone because of me, but the one who stands firm to the end will be saved." These prophetic words resonate deeply with Iranian Christians, who bravely endure unimaginable persecution, yet remain steadfast and unyielding in their cherished faith. Their courage and unwavering resilience shine brightly as they navigate constant threats of violence, unjust imprisonment, and even worse. Interestingly, while the government responds with harsh, unyielding repression, many friends and family members of converts show a more understanding, accepting attitude. As Todd Nettleton of Voice of the Martyrs explains, their perspective often shifts to acceptance. If you've discovered something that works for you, whether it's Jesus, atheism, or anything else, that's great. I just know Islam doesn't work, so I'm glad you found something else that does. This grassroots spiritual movement is not confined to Iran alone. Don Chen, executive director of the Tide Ministry, highlights that Iran represents just one vital part of a much larger trend sweeping across the entire Muslim world. What's happening in Iran is just the tip of the iceberg, he states, confirming that similar powerful movements to Christ are steadily emerging across the Islamic world. While the Iranian government desperately fights to maintain control, the growing wave of conversion signals a deeper, irreversible shift, powerfully fueled by an innate, universal longing for freedom, undeniable truth, and radiant hope. Reports from the Tide Ministry reveal a truly compelling phenomenon. Many Muslims are having vivid dreams and powerful visions of Jesus, experiences that frequently mark the auspicious beginning of profound spiritual journeys. While these divine encounters do not always lead directly to immediate conversion, they very often help individuals navigate deeply ingrained cultural and religious barriers. For countless individuals, these mystical visions open the door to courageously exploring Christianity and forming meaningful connections with Christian believers. Schenk, a representative of the Tide Ministry, notes that people who have these experiences often share strikingly similar reflections. I now realize how much God loves me. I've always believed that He desires to punish me. Dreams and visions hold particular sacred significance in Islamic culture, where they are frequently interpreted as direct divine communication. For Muslims who dream of Jesus, these experiences resonate profoundly, powerfully portraying a message of compassion, boundless love, and gentle guidance that starkly contrast with their previous understanding of God. These encounters often leave individuals profoundly questioning their deeply held beliefs and earnestly seeking answers in the liberating teachings of Jesus, unequivocally marking the start of a profound spiritual awakening. The transformative nature of these visions has drawn widespread attention, not only in Iran, where the phenomenon is most frequently reported, but also powerfully across the entire Muslim world. Schenk firmly believes that what is happening in Iran is an integral part of a broader, sweeping movement affecting the entire Muslim world. In Afghanistan, for instance, secretive Christians face grave, constant risks as they courageously practice their faith under the ever-present, terrifying threat of Taliban persecution. The imminent danger of exposure creates a pervasive atmosphere of distrust among believers who must carefully navigate the constant, paralyzing fear of infiltration. Schenk emphatically emphasizes the incredibly high stakes. Accepting Christ comes with a very real threat of death. Despite these monumental challenges, feedback from Afghanistan indicates a steadily growing number of people are embracing Christianity, powerfully driven by an innate desire for a relationship with God that feels deeply personal and profoundly redemptive. Yemen presents another striking example of this powerful movement. Studies suggest the spread of Christianity there is occurring at nearly twice the global rate. This remarkable growth is particularly noteworthy given Yemen's deeply entrenched Islamic traditions and the ongoing devastating humanitarian crisis that tragically dominates the country. Meanwhile, even in Saudi Arabia, a nation long known for its exceptionally strict interpretation of Islam, there are nascent signs of increased tolerance. Nettleton of Voice of the Martyrs observes that while the environment for Christians undeniably remains challenging, the Saudi monarchy has begun to cautiously acknowledge the possibility of peaceful coexistence with Christians. This represents a significant seismic shift from the attitudes of a mere decade or two ago, when any form of religious plurality was firmly rejected. The narrative of mass conversions has also gained tremendous momentum on social media. A viral tweet from conservative commentator Dinda audaciously claimed that millions of Muslims are becoming Christians, sparking widespread discussion and garnering thousands of responses. Further investigations uncovered an older interview from 2000 in which Al-Qahtani reportedly stated that 6 in 67 Muslims were converting to Christianity every hour, equating to a staggering 16,000 daily conversions and an astounding 6 million annually. While these figures are astonishing, they unfortunately lack credible sources, leaving their accuracy in question. Nonetheless, compelling anecdotal evidence from organizations like the Tide Ministry and Voice of the Martyrs, as well as powerful personal testimonies from countless converts, strongly points to significant, undeniable growth in Christianity among Muslims. New believers in the Middle East view their spiritual awakening as an integral part of a broader, divine movement of God's Spirit, a transformative wave that holds the profound potential to reshape not just individual lives, but entire nations. In regions often rigidly labeled as Islamic strongholds, the Holy Spirit is powerfully breaking barriers and miraculously changing lives in ways that defiantly defy cultural and political expectations. The timeless message of the Bible, with its universal call to redemption through Jesus, transcends all borders, speaking directly to the hearts of people in every corner of the world. This powerful movement is not confined to one country or a single community. It is a profound testament to the universal, profound nature of God's love, offering radiant hope and spiritual renewal to countless people who have long endured relentless oppression, crushing injustice, and profound despair. For many in the Middle East, the realization of God's unconditional love is a truly revolutionary concept. It powerfully replaces the deep-seated fear of divine punishment with the comforting assurance of grace and boundless forgiveness, introducing them to a God who is approachable, compassionate, and profoundly invested in their well-being. The spiritual shift taking place is not merely about personal belief. It is creating significant ripples across the social and cultural fabric of the region. The Middle East, long viewed as stubbornly resistant to change, is experiencing a quiet but undeniable transformation as individuals humbly accept the gift of salvation through Jesus. The region's spiritual landscape is slowly but surely beginning to shift. This profound transformation is deeply rooted in a message that brings authentic freedom, undeniable truth, and radiant light to places long overshadowed by pervasive darkness. Despite significant, often brutal opposition, the enduring love and eternal truth of God continue to penetrate these challenging regions, softening hardened hearts and inspiring genuine hope where there was once only despair. This ongoing Jesus revolution offers a compelling glimpse into how spiritual movements can profoundly challenge even the most entrenched systems, reminding us that the human spirit's yearning for truth and freedom can never truly be extinguished, regardless of age or circumstance.